Today we will talk about Adam Neumann, the founder of Wework and his new startup Flow. For those out of the loop, Wework used to be this large startup that owned office buildings. They rented office buildings and then sold the subdivided space for more money. Now this business model isn't anything new. Companies like Regus have been leasing office spaces and co-working arrangements for years. Wework's greatest contribution to the office leasing business was its culture. Somehow, Adam Neumann managed to create a workspace that appealed to millennials. If you wanted to feel like you belonged to a community or were meant for a greater purpose in life, Wework had you covered. At one point, Adam Neumann's word was gospel. He had this charisma that allowed him to persuade people to work for him, buy his office space. Then, once things got expensive, Adam managed to convince VC firms and billionaires to fund his startup. One of Japan's richest men, Masayoshi Son, was one of the larger investors who put money into Wework. The workers who bought Wework office space were happy. Investors were happy. All this paints a really rosy picture of Wework. The elephant in the room was Wework's lofty valuations. It was overvalued, meaning people believed it was worth more than it actually was. Adam Neumann took Wework public through an IPO that valued the startup at $47 billion. Trouble began when Wework released its S1 filing. This is a form required by the SEC if a company wants to be listed on the stock market. This was an official document. There was no way to cheese the system. If the S1 was done poorly, investors wouldn't have the confidence to invest in Wework's IPO. Wework had to be honest. Being honest was a bad decision they had to swallow. The S1 revealed while Wework's revenues were growing, the company was losing a lot of money. There were conflicts of interest between Adam Neumann and the company. Adam owned a few buildings that Wework was leasing out. Some took this to mean Adam was enriching himself by making Wework pay to use his buildings. Adam had also bought the We trademark name through his holding company. Wework was paying Adam Neumann $5.9 million to license the We trademark to Wework. No signs of a proper path to profitability was seen in the filing. The controversy took hold and Wework collapsed. While the IPO did happen, Wework's stock price has been tumbling for years now. It's now 22 cents a share. Adam Neumann was kicked out of the company. SoftBank's owner Masayoshi Son took over Wework, and as we all know, it didn't work out at all. The work from home boom has destroyed property values throughout cities. Adam went into hiding for a couple of years. It's not that hard. As long as you don't talk to anyone in the media, it's a piece of cake. Once Adam Neumann resurfaced, he was a billionaire again. After Adam was kicked out of Wework, he received an alleged $700 million payout. With a couple of investments here and there, Adam managed to grow his wealth. Many did not like Adam Neumann's return. They saw him as an example of what it was like to fail upwards. Getting rewarded for the mistakes he didn't seem quite right. Then again, Adam did build a large enough empire, an unprofitable one, but it was still a large business. Adam Neumann is now peddling his new startup Flow. Flow is apparently a startup that mirrors Wework. Flow gained an alleged $1 billion valuation the minute it was announced to the world. A VC fund, Andreessen Horowitz, invested $350 million into Flow before it even got off the ground. Flow's website has been almost empty for a year now. There are signs Flow is hiring people. It's just that the last time Adam announced Flow, it was in 2022, and now it's been 8 months since 2023 started. There are no signs of Flow's services at all. The Wework founder did try to explain his vision for Flow ambiguously. Currently, no one knows exactly what Flow is. All we do know is that Adam claims Flow will give ownership to the people renting the space from Flow, even though there is no sign that the people who will be renting the building would get any equity in the building itself. It sounds like lip service, like you're selling a dream and nothing else. Well, we'll only know for sure once Adam Neumann finally starts his Flow startup. Adam Neumann and his buddies from Andreessen Horowitz are now trying to raise money from Saudi Arabia. They plan to bring Flow to the desert country. Adam Neumann laid it on thick when he was at a non-profit conference held by Saudi Arabia's largest sovereign wealth funds. He praised the kingdom, comparing it to a startup, and said emerging technologies offered a lot of potential for dramatic changes to the world if they just stopped looking at the negativity of every single thing. It's the leaders like His Royal Highness that are actually going to lead us where we want to go. I hope you liked the video. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe if you haven't already. It's much appreciated.